his, her, for example. We need some kind of determiner, something that gives us information about a singular noun. We must use a determiner with a singular noun. So we have to say a dog, or his dog, or my dog. We cannot simply say dog in this with the singular form. So please be careful. If you use the singular form of a noun, you need to use a determiner. Okay, let's look at the plural form. My note for the plural form here is that no determiner is required. So you don't always have to use a determiner here with the plural form, the dogs, his dogs, her dogs, for example. But if you're referring generally to a group, no determiner should be used. So this is a very common mistake. For example, if talking about all teachers or all doctors, or making a general statement about a group of people, for example, no determiner should be used. We should not use the doctors or the teachers unless you're talking about a specific group of doctors or a specific group of teachers. If you want to make a general statement about all people or all countable nouns in one category, no determiner should be used. So please be careful. Okay, so these are 2 points about the singular form and the plural form. So please be careful of this. Okay, let's continue on to how to make the plural forms of nouns. There are a few different rules to consider here. So first, the regular way to make a plural noun is to just add an S to the end of the noun. So for example, dogs, we add an S, computers, and cars. So these are simple plural form nouns. We just add an S to the end of the noun to make the plural form. However, there are some cases where the spelling will change slightly and the pronunciation will also change slightly. The basic S sound is still there, however, it's an ES sound, so it's noun plus ES. When do we do this? We do this with nouns that end in X, in CH, double S, S, or SH. This is kind of difficult to remember. I think that if you practice, if you read a lot, and if you speak a lot, you'll gradually come to understand this. This is something I personally never studied as a native speaker, but through practice, through reading a lot too, I gradually came to understand which nouns take ES and which nouns do not. But some examples here, foxes, fox ends in X, so it takes ES in the plural form. Classes, class ends in SS, so we take ES for the plural form. Finally, sandwich, sandwich ends in CH, so we add ES, very important. So not sandwiches with no E, but we need to use an E in the word sandwiches. Please be careful. Okay, finally, there is one more different spelling for plural nouns here. We have noun plus IES. If the noun ends in a Y, we drop the Y in the plural form. We cut the Y and add IES. So a few examples of this are countries. We have IES, no Y here. We have candies, again, no Y, IES, and copies, so no Y and IES. So these are 3 ways to make plural forms, adding ES or an ES sound or just a simple S. So depending on the noun you would like to make plural, you need to kind of remember these rules or at least think about them a little bit until you kind of get used to making nouns correctly. Okay, but I want to go to something a little bit more challenging, which is nouns which have irregular plural forms. So these are countable nouns, but they don't follow the S rule. We can't just add S to make these nouns plural. Let's take a look at a few. So one, for example, is person, the noun person. We can say one person. However, the plural form is people, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. Please keep this in mind. Another very common one, especially for pronunciation, is woman to women and man to men. Please be careful of your vowel pronunciation here in particular. Woman and women. The first vowel, O, here, does not change in terms of spelling, but in pronunciation it does change. Women sounds much different than the singular form woman. So please be careful. Sometimes poor pronunciation can cause difficulties in understanding or poor communication. So this is a great pronunciation point, both woman and man. So man becomes men, a very clear vowel sound change there. So these two are a couple to be very, very careful of and to practice as well. Some nouns, however, do not change in the plural form. Some nouns, for example, fish, does not change. We use fish and fish in the singular and the plural form. If you are curious about how to know whether you're reading something or hearing something about singular fish or plural fish, in most cases you can guess based on the situation, based on the context. If it's very, very difficult,